Hello, this is my very brief review of the different aliens from Alien Artifacts and kind of my ranking of what I think are the worst to the best of those aliens. So, we're going to go in reverse order what I think is the best and go all the way to what I think is the worst alien. Clearly, this is just my opinion about what is the most frustrating strategy, the ease or difficulty of getting alien artifacts from the race, and in-game scoring, um, how I think that affects that. So, no further ado, we will get started. So, what I think is one of the best races is the promo race, uh, the Silix. Um, and one of the reasons why I think they're the best race is because you simply have to spend 14 credits to get an Alien Artifacts card. Now, you literally could probably do this by turn 2, get an Alien Artifacts card. And it's not that Alien Artifacts cards are super overpowered, but the ability to get them quickly could be a game changer. So spending 14 credits really, I think, is why the Silix are possibly one of the best races in the game. On top of that, they score for logistic technology, which most logistics technology is going to help build your engine and give you extra turns and extra things you can do. So I think there's encouragement to branch out into technologies and go really quickly to advance your race and get a lot extra turns. Their extra scoring for expansion cards is what it is. I don't think you're going to score a ton of points from that. Now, do I think that's enough to win the game every time? Not necessarily, but I think that you are going to get some interesting quick engines with them. And so I think that's why they're probably one of the strongest races. The next one I think is also one of the strongest races, and that is the Clone Clan. Now, they have to spend 10 technology to get an alien artifact. I don't think that's the greatest. So I don't think you're going to get a lot of alien artifacts with these, but they score for logistic technologies. And the fact that you get double score, so you score for just having logistics technologies, plus you actually would score the logistics technologies at the end of the game, potentially means that you can score a lot of points with these guys. Once again, scoring a point for each expansion card in your empire at the end is just kind of hit or miss. Depending on how much you want to dig in the deck to get those scores is up to you. But I think encouraging you to get logistics technologies is going to give you a really strong chance of scoring a lot of points. The next race is the Opiscacy. I don't even know how to say it. These guys. This one is, it may or may not be difficult to get alien artifacts with this one because you have to spend 2 of pretty much everything. So a ship, a tech, a planet, and a wild, plus 4 credits. So not the greatest per se, but with the Discoveries expansion where you can reduce the cost by 2 to purchase an alien artifact card, they kind of become more powerful because you can start eliminating whole sets of types that you need to get the alien artifacts. I think they become strong because they encourage you to get logistic planets, which reduces the cost of everything, which means that you have the ability to build a very large empire fairly quickly because you don't have to worry about getting operational planets to produce resources. You're going to be getting discounts on everything, which allows you to do the extra build action as you reduce the cost of things, etc. And then getting one for every exploration card, once again, is just how much you want to dig in the deck. But I think that makes them fairly strong alien race in the game. Now we're starting to get into what I think are like the meh. They could be good, could be bad. It depends on the draw of the cards and the player playing them. The next one is Community, which, once again, I don't think has a very strong alien artifact purchasing ability. You can pay 12 of any resource, which I think is beneficial because unlike some of the other ones, where it has to be a specific resource. This one is just 12 of anything. So that's super nice. And the reason why I think this works and why it's so high up on my ranking, even though it's more expensive than others, is because they score points for operational planets. So you're going to be having resources on all these planets that you can mine and pull off of. So I think being able to purchase with them will get easier. Now, difficulty is if you're making operational planets, the cost of making planets, the cost of making everything will get more and more expensive as the game goes on. In which case, that's kind of like their downside. Scoring an extra point for every exploitation card in your empire is, once again, like all of them, how deep do you want to dig? So while I think you will have plenty of resources to spend for an alien artifact, it might be hard to get it, but you're also going to end the game a lot quicker when you're mining those planets. So I think they have a pretty good advantage there. The next one is another one of the promo aliens, the Academics. Now the Academics, they spend 10 technology to gain an alien artifact, which I think is okay. That's why they're in the bottom half of the list. And I think the thing that kind of kills them and why they're not higher up is because you get points for operational technologies, which is very similar to the CyberClan. Sorry, no, they get it for logistics. It's very similar to, I guess, someone else had I thought. Anyways, operational technologies, which are good. It can build your engine. But no, sorry, operational ones can score you points, which is a good encouragement. You get points for being able to score points. And I think that's good, but it's not going to be as fast or streamlined as one of the races that allows you to do logistics technologies, in my opinion. So it's kind of like the last group, the community. Things are going to start to get expensive because you're not having things that necessarily reduce the cost of things. So that's why they're not as high on my list. The next race is the Bionics. And the Bionics are kind of nice, but scoring 8 for the wild resource to get an alien artifact is a little bit difficult because the wild resources, as far as I know, and I haven't like extensively checked the deck, but as far as I know, I don't believe there's any cards that have 3 of them. Most of the cards that have wild resources only have 2 per card. So getting 8 of those is a little bit more difficult than, say, getting even 12 of any type. And then the next thing is they score a point for each ship, technology, and planet of a different type. Now, we know from the card there's the 4 different types. So as far as I understand it, unless I'm misunderstanding how this scores, the most points you can ever score with them is 12 points, which seems like a lot and is totally doable. But you have to do a lot of digging in the deck to get that perfect mix. Whereas some of the races that can score for just planets, I don't think you're ever going to build 12 planets, but you never know. So that's why they're a little bit higher up, because, I mean, you can score 12 points pretty cheaply compared to some other races, because, you know, that's 4 plus 5, so you're looking at cost of 9 for even the max end. And you're not constrained by any... by logistics or operational, which makes it handy. So I think that it's a pretty powerful group and could easily be maybe higher up in the ranking for some people that like that because of the freedom they have to choose the operational or the logistic. The next 2 races are my least favorite, and you'll see that both of them are very similar, almost the same. And honestly, they could be interchangeably. They could go in and out. First one is the League. The League is 8 wild resources to gain an alien artifact, which once again, I said getting the wild ones can be very difficult. And then for each operational ship, they score a point, and for each extermination card. Now, my issue with is operational ships and fighting the alien races. As far as I understand, when you create an operational ship, you go out on a mission, you fight it, chances are on a lot of the cards that it's going to blow up or get damaged. Now, maybe I'm misunderstanding how this works, but a lot of people in my group find that the operational ships are very frustrating to control. to keep in your empire. They're constantly blowing up and stuff like that. And so I find that although you score a lot of points in the game with these people, and usually will have an early lead compared to some of the other races, that usually in the end you end up losing because you don't have the technology or other things, because you've spent so much of your effort constantly rebuilding your ships. So that's the League. And then the next one is very similar. It's the Star Union. And the Star Union is the same, except they can spend 10 ships to gain a resource. An alien artifact, 10 ship resources. And then once again, they also have the operational ships, which to me is the same issue as I spoke about with the League. You know, you're constantly going out, you're going to get blown up, you might score some early points, but you're going to spend a lot of the game trying to rebuild your ships to score in-game points, while some of the other people like the academics and the bionics and them are just going to town. Now, you do have the option, if you can keep the ships in your tableau, or if you pick the right ships, the ones that when they're blown up, when this is destroyed, place it in your construction area instead. Ships like that can help mitigate some of that, and there's a strategy to it, and you do have the chance to blockade your opponents and ruin their life, especially if they don't have a good defense plan in place. But ultimately, I found, especially with new players, that if they play Star Union or the League, they're typically confused, frustrated, and probably going to lose. Anyways, that's my brief review of some of the alien races in Alien Artifacts. I really love the game. What's your opinion? Put down in the comments below how you feel about it. If you feel like there's something I missed, or a reason why one of them should be ranked higher or appreciated more, I'd love to have a discussion about it. Thanks.